Hello and welcome back to Engaging Conversations. I'm your host, Leon Goldsman, and before we begin, a sincere thank you to all our sponsors and supporters, particularly Nepean Advanced Rehab and Allied Health Centre, Bondi and District's Chamber of Commerce, and Lake Macquarie Business and Focus for helping make conversations like this possible. As we celebrate this 50th episode, I also want to extend a heartfelt thank you to our team, our guests, our supporters, and the many people from communities across Australia who continue to back this program. Whether you've listened to one episode or all 50, shared an episode, appeared as a guest, sponsored the program, or simply encouraged us along the way, thank you. This milestone belongs to all of us. When my team and I launched Engaging Conversations, we wanted to create a platform where real people could share real stories in their own voice. A place where important conversations could be had, everyday heroes could be recognised, and communities could learn from one another. Over the past 50 episodes, I've had the privilege of meeting some of the most truly remarkable people, and every now and then, you get to see the ripple effect of these conversations. One of those organisations is Survivors Are Us. Since we first sat together, they have continued to grow their impact, securing a $2.8 million federal government grant and establishing a permanent community hub to support people facing domestic violence, homelessness, financial hardship, and crisis. Which brings us to today. For our 50th episode, it felt only fitting to return to where it all began. Our very first guest was Maria Martin, founder and CEO of Survivors Are Us. At the time, some people suggested that domestic violence was too confronting a topic to launch a new podcast with, but it just felt right because it was exactly the conversation we needed to have. 50 episodes later, and I'm honoured to be joined once again by Maria, along with her general manager, Scott Martin. This podcast has always been about people, community, and the power of connection, and I can't think of a more fitting way to celebrate our 50th episode than by returning to where it all began. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Hi, I'm Maria from Survivors Are Us. I'm the founder and the CEO, and we run a domestic violence and homelessness centre here.
Hi, I'm Scott. I'm the General Manager of Survivors Are Us. I've been here for about 4 years.
And it's been quite a while since we last caught up, and it's great to be here again, Maria. We've come a long way, haven't we?
Oh, we have certainly, Leon.
By the way, you were my first person I had on the program.
I know, and now it's been 50 episodes, so that's so exciting. It's really, really wonderful what we're doing here.
Well, we've all come a long way, but today it's not about us, it's about you. So when you reflect on where things were back then compared to where Survivors Are Us are today, what emotions or thoughts come to mind?
Leon, I never thought we'd get as big as what we are today. You know, I started it out really, really tiny and never thought that it'd ever get as big as what it is and the amount of people that we're helping and saving. So, a big difference.
Congratulations on your 50th episode. We've grown immensely in the last 9 years since we started. It's unfortunate we do have to exist, but we are big enough now. We're helping lots more people every year and every day, so...
Yeah. Well, to do what you're doing does take a lot of courage, especially because there's a lot of uncertainty in the beginning. And there were times that Survivors Are Us needed to address ways how they're going to survive. I mean, do you want to just tell us briefly, even the past 12 months?
Yeah, so Leon, with Survivors Are Us, we got to a point where we were ready to close down last year because our rent kept going up $50,000 a year, and because we're a non-for-profit, not funded, it was killing us. So, there was a few weeks there where we were ready to shut those doors down, but we were lucky, we did get a grant to help us purchase a new building, which we're in now, and it's made it better for us and sustained us,
I also like to thank the community too, because they really did get behind us and helped us purchase this new premises, and we do have a lot of goodwill in the community, so no, it's appreciated.
I mean, one of the reasons why we started Engaging Conversations is to talk about the very things some people prefer not to talk about. I mean, coincidentally, Survivors Are Us was the first episode for a reason, because it was deemed the hardest conversations to have. And I thought, if we're going to have conversations, let's go with the hard stuff, because when you start off with something that's challenging, it often leads to something that becomes a little bit easier later on down the track. whereas too many people tend to be going more for the easy options.
Yeah.
And then they realize that it's not as easy as it seems. What do you think conversations like this remain so important, even when they may feel uncomfortable or confronting for some people?
Oh, Leon, we really have to talk about this subject because the domestic violence in the area and in Australia is getting worse. So if we don't have these conversations, nobody's going to do anything about it, and it's just going to be like in the olden days, it was hidden behind closed doors. So we really need to be activists on this subject and get it out there and get onto government and really promote it and get the help that these people do need.
And it's great because there are a lot of good people out there, really good people. You don't realise how many until they come forward. And we can do a whole episode on just the amazing people that have come. We saw them at the grand opening.
Yes, definitely. The grand opening was fantastic. So much support in the community from the government and just other organisations, because we're all supporting each other out there because we're all doing the same job, just trying to help the amount of people that we're seeing come through the doors.
And it's not just Lake Macquarie. We know that this affects everybody. It doesn't discriminate. Domestic violence and people who are falling through the cracks, it's happening everywhere. And many people may only see the public-facing side of the organisations like Survivors Are Us. But behind the scenes, you're dealing with people facing housing stress, financial hardship, mental health challenges, and isolation every day. What are some of the realities you're seeing on the ground right now that perhaps many people in the broader community don't fully realise?
One thing that is surprising is we have families with two incomes and the young kids, they're struggling to meet day-to-day needs. Like food insecurity is massive. Also, mental health issues are rampant at the moment. I'm not sure whether it's a result of funding not going the right direction or the psychologists quitting recently. But yeah, we're seeing a lot of mental health people on the ground coming in and seeing us with issues, whether they're not on the right medication or whether mental health is a result of everything they're going through and then just finally it gets too hard for them. Unfortunately, suicide's a big issue too. I know a lot of these things are hard to talk about, but especially out west, young men, trade is, something really does need to be done. We need to start encouraging people to talk about these things a bit more openly. Every day, the numbers are getting crazy. What we're seeing, we can only do so much in the short term, which is what we do here at Survivors Are Us. But long term, something really needs to be done.
Well, the problem that we all see, people tend to talk about things that seem sexy. They like to put photos of themselves going to the gym or taking nice photos of food. But talking about the stuff that really drives home, it's almost like an escape. I mean, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, people used to watch television or comedy to escape from that. Today, they're using social media, the platforms. And also social media tends to be very divisive in many cases. So these conversations are really important. And a lot has happened since our first conversation. I mean, look, it's only been 18 months or so. To record 50 episodes, it's huge because I get to meet a lot of incredible people. And it's great to be able to make a full circle and come back to where it all started. Because when we first recorded together, Survivors Are Us was still renting premises, as you mentioned, and carrying significant operational pressures, particularly around rent and electricity costs. But if we fast forward to today, they're a result of your hard work and continuous dedication. But Survivors Are Us now has its own community hub. And that's something that was only a dream. So Maria, I'm going to ask you this question. What does it mean to be finally in a position where Survivors Are Us can start thinking longer term rather than simply trying to survive day to day?
Yeah, it's really made a big difference because every day, we were really struggling behind the scenes to keep it all going. But to now have the building, we've taken that financial stress off us, which is a huge thing because we're trying to help people get rid of their financial stress, but we were struggling. So, yeah, very hard. So, Leon, now having the purchase of the building, we can think forward on where we're going to go, where before we were in fight and flight mode. Well, now we're not. We're actually going ahead and we can do more for the community because we want to give them their dignity back. You know, they're all struggling out there and it's so hard for them. So if we can help them get their lives back on track and help them so they don't have to struggle every day, that's going to be a win-win for the community and everybody.
Well, it is a win-win, and I also see stability because it's really hard. I mean, we can put on a brave face every day,
Yep.
but if you feel like there's uncertainty, it's very challenging to have that sense of security and stability ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think makes Survivors Are Us different from what people may traditionally expect?
Yeah, so we're unique because we do a lot of things under the one roof. We provide support, counselling. We are also an op shop, and that's what helps us pay the bills. A lot of food support, a lot of support groups. Every day's different here. We do free breakfast, free lunches. We work with a lot of great organisations in the community as well, from Hearing Aid, Australia Gamble Aware, chemists come and help us. Beyond Bank's been a good partner with us. Food banks help food poverty in Australia. The accessibility to our place is awesome as well. So because we're a shop as well, that helps people come in who are a little bit scared to put their hand up and say, I need help. They make a step to come into our op shop, and our great staff will just notice, they'll sense that they seem a bit unsure. They say, how you going? And they'll finally ask for help. And they said, come follow me, and we'll come into the office and we'll give them some support. So it's hard to ask for help. So we do get a lot of people who sort of make the first step into our shop, ask how it all works here, and then before you know it, they're getting support and they're going home with food and a better direction, better sense of self and how they can get help in the future.
What's interesting, Scott, is that people are good and kind by nature, but very few people actually do take the time to stop and talk to others. What we're finding here is compassion all under one roof. All those things that you mentioned, but including compassion under one roof. So you mentioned the dignity, the practical help that you provide, the accessibility, the compassion, but also it's the long-term empowerment.
Yeah, no, that's right. A lot of people we have here have gone through tough times in the past. Now they're back on their feet and they just want to give back. And so it's amazing the butterfly effect of helping people does have on the community. So once someone gets a leg up, they feel obliged to give someone else a leg up because they got one in the past. So we do see that a lot here, and it's just, it's heartwarming.
You mentioned the butterfly effect. Well, we're actually conveniently sitting in a new room, the butterfly room. I think that's where we are.
Yep, that's it.
It's actually really cozy. I should take some photos and put them up on. We'll do that. We might put that in the show notes. But Scott, you mentioned the ripple effect of helping people. Often the real impact of helping one person does extend far beyond just that one individual. It affects children, families, friendships, workplaces. In fact, it's fair to say it affects the entire communities, doesn't it?
No, absolutely, absolutely.
What do you think people sometimes underestimate the ripple effect that organisations like Survivors Are Us can have across the broader community?
Leon, let me add to that one. Great case yesterday. We actually had our security guard come in and he doesn't have somebody to do security in our facility. Well, we had a young man come and help us when we moved over here. He had no work. He is a single dad who's looking after two beautiful little girls, and all he wants is somebody to give him a hand up. Guess what? Yesterday, we got that man a full-time job, and that's my reward for what I do here every day. The smile, the hugs that I've got. I let the security guard know that I have this guy, will give you 150% work ethic, and he just needs somebody to give him a hand up. He didn't have a security license, and I said that he had children, he had to work in the school run. And the security guy, T, who is our guy, he said, Maria, I'll give him a chance because I believe in what you did. Somebody gave you a chance and look what you did. And so we've gave it to this young man, and I am so excited. So you can hear in my voice that it's just the most amazing feeling. And that's what we're trying to do to our people and clients that come through that door every day, is to just give them that little leg up to make their lives so much better.
Sounds like you're restoring hope, not just for the community, but those individuals as well.
Yep.
And it's about breaking the cycles because, sometimes people tend to do things over and over and over again. And it becomes like, it's almost like a Groundhog Day where people just turn up, do their best, and they feel like that's it. They're stuck in this cycle. And what you're doing is you're breaking that cycle.
We're breaking that cycle, and that's what we need to be doing.
Yeah. And by breaking the cycle, you're not just rebuilding families and helping to rebuild these families, but you're also reducing isolation, improving the well-being, restoring hope, and of course, most importantly, strengthening communities overall.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's more than that. I know, you're thinking, how could it be? Wait, there's more. But there is, because every organisation needs a good team.
Yep.
I mean, how do you grow without the people?
That's right. We wouldn't be able to do the work that we do here every day at Survivors Are Us without our amazing volunteers. You know, everybody comes in, they've all got different skills, and we just work as a family, and that's what we were all talking about the other day. We have a family here. We're not workers. We're just a team and family who want to help other people succeed and get their lives together.
And this is exactly why organisations like this are the ones that are doing it. They're demonstrating what can be done, what's possible.
Yeah, definitely.
We touched on the volunteers, but we know from what you just said, from what you could see, it doesn't take a rocket scientist or a genius to come in and straight away feel like they belong. They're surrounded by love.
Yep.
Because behind every successful community organisation are the volunteers, the staff, and of course supporters who are quietly contributing enormous amounts of time and energy behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You know, they're the ones that are unsung heroes of every place.
Yeah.
Now, how important has your team and volunteer network been in helping make all this possible?
Oh, it's huge. Heaps. You know, I couldn't do this on my own. If I didn't have this team of wonderful volunteers and people in the community supporting us, we wouldn't exist. You know, it takes a lot of effort and time to do what we do every day, and we're so lucky to have those people behind us.
We've just mentioned volunteers, and look, some people might turn around and say, I don't have the time, or I don't have them. I mean, Adam Schultz, our mayor, it's a top like. There's a lot of other good people as well. Of course, Greg Piper, Pat Conroy, Joe Hildebrand, and Sonia Henry, and Kate Fraser, and I could just go on and on. I'd need a whole program and a list to dedicate the amazing people that have been by our side. But you know, it's not just about giving just because someone else has given. It's about contributing however they can. So some people, it's done with time, some people might donate money, some people might donate services, but we're in a very unique situation here because one of the things that a lot of people don't see are the hidden costs. And one of those things, of course, are the amenities, electricity.
Yeah, no, so because we do a lot of food support, we do have big fridges, and yeah, we inherited a building, not inherited, we bought this building without solar at the moment. So we notice the difference coming from a place with solar to this place without solar. So yeah,
the previous place was solar, was it?
Previous place was solar. This place doesn't have any solar, so that was a bit of a hidden hit that we sort of copped. But yeah, we're working towards raising enough money to actually get solar here, which will help. Like every cent we save, it goes straight back to support. So it is a non-for-profit. Everything we do here is eyes on helping people.
But it's more than that. I mean, it's more than that. It's what we're seeing here is people look up to organisations like this, and we need to continue setting a good example. So not just doing things that are helping people, but also the environment. I mean, that's a big one.
Yeah, no, so we're good at reusing. We work with the local council here, recycling food. Like, no, all the food that goes from Woolies and Coles they don't use, we take and we hand out to people. We get like secondhand clothes. We either sell, recycle, make into rags and sell, or we give them to an organisation who will sell it overseas. So our main focus is being environmentally friendly, and the council do love that we do that. Like, nothing really goes to waste once it comes here, because you wonder what happens to all the food from Coles and Woolies. So we work with Oz Harvest, so they pick up food from Coles, Woolies and Costco's.
What I'm seeing and understanding is we're very conscious here about utilising our resources, you know, by not letting anything go to waste.
No.
Anything that doesn't get sold or utilised here actually helps people overseas. So it's more than just looking after our own community, it's making the world a better place.
Yeah, no, we want to be a green site, so that's why we're sort of aiming. Our next purchase is solar panels for this place. So.
Well, solar panels are an interesting topic because some people who have solar panels will swear by them. Those that don't might criticise them. But the proposed solar initiative that Survivors Are Us is considering isn't simply about installing panels on a roof. It's really about reducing long-term overheads so the resources can be redirected back into helping people who need that most. Look, I'm sure people will want to know this, but why is that kind of long-term thinking becoming increasingly important for community organisations moving forward?
Oh, it's because of the bills, Leon. Like, we've just got a $9,000 bill for our electricity, and that kills us. You know, that's bigger than what we used to have across the road in the other facility because we had solar over there. So now we've got to get solar on the roof to reduce those costs, because if we're not putting the $9,000 into the power, that means we can put $9,000 into helping people. So solar's so important for us.
Yeah.
We would love somebody, if there's anybody out there that would like to help us purchase those, it's going to help the charity a real lot.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there are companies out there who really feel the same way, that they want to make a difference. They're probably sitting there right now thinking, how can we do this? Well, hey, now's their opportunity too.
Yeah, definitely. So if you can help us, we've got a lot of roof space up there, and we've been lucky to get a grant for our batteries. So we've actually got the batteries, but we've got no solar. So that's where we're in a bit of a muddle. So if anybody wants to help, that could make a big difference to us.
Yeah. Well, that's something definitely worth considering, and that could be our next project.
Definitely. Big project.
Well, we do like projects because there's most of the time our projects tend to go good. Not because we're great at what we do.
Exactly.
I mean, that's probably part of the reason. No.
Yeah.
But I think it's, as you said earlier, there's really good people out there who believe in what we stand for. And that's what makes a difference.
Yeah, definitely.
Just before I move on to the next question, I mean, you mentioned the batteries. They just don't appear, materialise on the wall. Somebody had to have made the initiative to actually give them to you. What was the story there?
Yeah, so we don't receive funding from government, so we're forever doing grants. So lucky enough to get a grant from Origin Araring out here, for $45,000. So that'll pay for our battery, and thanks to Origin.
It's fantastic for organisations like that to step up, because some of those organisations, I don't know what happens behind the scenes, but I do know that what we see and companies contributed to communities like that, that's what gets noticed.
That's right. And we like to support them and say it out into the community. This company has helped us get what we're needing, and that's what we need to be doing out there. So, if you're another organisation that's looking, you can approach these people and say, well, okay, we know you help Survivors Are Us. Is there any way you can help me?
The Hunter region is a big mining energy town, so it's good that they do give back to the community, and I think the residents do appreciate that. The community do notice.
Yeah, normally there's so many things that go on, there's so many things in communities that gets talked about, but it's things like that end up doing good.
And they remember who did it, who helped out in the hard times.
Yeah, and they do, because leadership is all about working under pressure and, of course, building resilience. And people often do see the public-facing side of leadership, but rarely the emotional pressures.
Definitely, Leon. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, and this wouldn't happen without all that going on. So, yeah.
So what have you both learned personally about resilience, leadership, and people throughout this entire journey?
Yeah, I'm going to say it's made me more stronger. It's made me know that I can actually achieve the things that I wanted to achieve. It helped me get from where I was, out of my domestic violence, and now I'm a survivor of it and an advocate for it. Just stronger. It's made me a stronger human being, and I think more kind and compassionate person. I always thought I was, but I think I've learnt a lot as I've grown up through this as well over the last 9 years.
The main thing I've learned is that, if you're going through hell, just keep going. I know people are there to help, and you are stronger than you think you are. So,
and I'm gonna add my 5 cents worth in this one. because it's often the people that we surround ourselves with are the people that influence our lives. If you're surrounded with perpetrators, then that could really destroy a person.
Yeah.
But when you're surrounded by inspiring, hardworking, dedicated, committed people, we become better people just by being around people and organisations such as this. For me, just the past 18 months of being involved now as a patron, but also as an advocate, I always have been, and I continue to do that, irrespective of what my role is. Now, I've learned what emotional resilience looks like, where persistence, teamwork gets you, but most of all, it's about humility and staying connected to purpose.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Look, I'd like to leave a final message to our community. Actually, it's not really a final message. There'll be many, many messages.
Many more podcasts.
As a message, there will always likely be good people out there and listening to this conversation, the one we're having right now, who may want to contribute, support, partner, volunteer, or just become more involved in strengthening the community around them, whether it's this community or whether it's a community in their own backyard. What message would you like to leave with the broader community and business sector about the role they can play in helping organisations such as this to continue the great work moving forward?
Look, what I would say to them is go down to your local charities and see, spend a day there just to see what they do, see whether you like doing that, or do you want to do it from a donation point of view, or you want to work with them. Can you, help when they do a barbie? Just anything. Just get that feel of what a charity and what they do in the community is about. So, yeah, and just don't struggle. If you're out there struggling, just go to a charity and say, look, I'm not coping at the moment. Can I get some help? That's the biggest thing I recommend.
So we'll put a couple of things in the show notes, a couple of numbers that people can contact and a couple of pathways, because people are not alone. There's always somebody out there who genuinely cares and wants to be there for them.
People are out there listening, and all we need is them to contact us or phone us, and we're there to support them. So, yeah, definitely. What about you, Scott?
No, absolutely. If you're feeling a little bit down, just, reach out. Go to a community organisation. It could be us, it could be Lions, Rotary, etc. Giving back does make you feel better about yourself and about community too. That's what Australia's sort of based on. We're a community-based, multicultural, amazing place, but we do get lost in social media and the news just bombarding us with terrible things. So, yeah. The best thing about working with survivors are us, I found, although we see a lot of hardships, we see some of the most amazing people, the most amazing stories, and it's just heartwarming. So
there is hope. There's opportunity for volunteering, wherever those services are not going to be taken for granted. Certainly will be very much appreciated within the right organisations. Sponsorship, of course, partnerships, everyone can come in somehow and support, sponsor, awareness, building stronger communities together is really what we're all about.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, look, is there anything else you'd like to mention to the audience?
Yeah, if anybody would like to reach out to us, they can go onto our website. They can call us. We're on Facebook. We do a lot of our work through our Facebook page, which is just Survivors Are Us. And, just leave us a message. Call us. All our information is on the Facebook site and, of course, on the website. The things that we do each and every day in the facility. So, reach out to us. We'd love to hear from people. And love to hear that they've listened to the podcast.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, what I'll do is I'll put all those details on the show notes. But the website, just for people who are listening now, is
www.siu.org.au.
www.siu.org.au. Excellent. Thank you so much for your time and looking forward to continuing the great work together.
Thank you, Leon, and congratulations on 50 episodes.
Thank you, Leon, and congratulations on your 50 episodes. It's amazing.
And congratulations to you as well.
Thank you.
Now, that was a conversation I genuinely valued, and I hope you did too. Hearing from Maria and Scott is a powerful reminder that when local organisations are given the tools they need, they don't just support individuals in crisis, they help restore dignity, stability, and hope right across the community. And one thing that really stood out for me from this conversation is how something relatively simple could make such a significant difference. In the case of Survivors Are Us, installing solar panels on the community hub could redirect thousands of dollars away from electricity bills and straight back into food relief, counselling, emergency support, and practical assistance for people doing it tough. So if you're listening today as a business owner, community leader, tradesperson, solar provider, or someone who simply wants to make a positive difference, I'd encourage you to consider how you might be able to help. Whether that's through funding, equipment, installation support, introductions, or partnerships. Every contribution helps strengthen the incredible work done by Survivors Are Us, and you'll find their contact details in the show notes. As we celebrate our 50th episode, I think today's conversation is a fitting reminder of what Engaging Conversations has always been about: people, community, resilience, and the power of connection. And we're only just getting started. Over the coming weeks, we'll be sharing conversations from regional, remote, and off-grid Australia, alongside stories from remarkable people who are quietly making a difference in their own communities every day. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please follow the program, share it with someone who might benefit, and help us continue shining a light on the people and organisations creating positive change. I'm Leon Goldsman. Until next time, stay connected, stay compassionate, and let's continue building stronger communities together.